Morning all. How are we all doing? I'm a bit late this morning. I've still got wet hair. Panic. I made the stupid mistake of sitting down with my breakfast this morning and then got into doing some coding enhancements for the EA, and then I looked at the clock and I was like, Jesus, I've got 15 minutes. Anyway, I'm here. So we've got 7 minutes to the open. Andy, morning relaxing music. Good name. Morning, Harry. Overnight indices took a sharp dip lower on news of nuclear power plant on fire. Yeah, so that was put out. That wasn't actually a nuclear power plant on fire. It looked like it was outside the nuclear power plant from the footage, but it was obviously worrying that there's a fire anywhere near a nuclear power plant. So, yeah. I'm playing the gap fill on the DAX at the minute. So we gapped down on the DAX. Took initial entry. Where did I take my initial entry? Here. Why did I take that initial entry? I was watching M1. So I was watching M1 and I took an initial entry on the first bullish price action we saw, stop under the low. Then I had a pending order set above the high of that candle, which got gathered up there. At the moment, we haven't gone anywhere, so it's sideways. So I'm just looking for the gap fill. Just got 2 positions long. Right. So yeah, RSI dashboard says it all, basically, doesn't it? Euro utterly destroyed still. 5. I've never, ever seen that. Ever. We've got 2 pairs now, exceeding 10 on the RSI on the 4 hour. So just shows you what an impact this is having. The Aussies are all screaming off to the highs as well. The Aussies and the New Zealands are flying at the moment. And obviously couple that with the fact that the euro and the pound are very weak. We are getting extreme movements on Australasian versus European pairs at the moment. So yeah, big moves. They're off my list for mean reversion and everything at the minute. I'm completely flat on positions now, so that's all. I'm all flat, and I'm staying flat until this until there's some kind of indication of what is going on with this war. I'm staying flat from a position trading perspective. There's no point in getting into it because you just don't know what's going to happen. It's too unpredictable to trade at the moment. You can't take a long-term position if you've got no low long-term bias. There is no long-term bias at the moment. The market will do what it does based on the next press of a button, launch of a jet, whatever. Russia's moved into the Black Sea. There was pictures of the Russian fleet on the news this morning. Column of ships moving into the Black Sea. So they've now got resupply zones into the south of Ukraine set up, and obviously they've got sea bombardment options now from the Black Sea. So next standoff point there is Turkey, because it's Turkish waters. So that potentially could get NATO involved. That gets NATO involved. That's basically Europe at war, isn't it? So and us and America and everybody else in NATO. So there's a meeting of the UN this morning to discuss next steps. So you just be very, very, very careful with anything you're taking trades on at the moment. So there's 3 positions, long, short and flat. Flat is the best one to take at the minute. So I'm just short time frame scalping. Going to have a look this morning at M15H1 options for those that want to do mean reversion still, and how best to play it. So we're going to have a look at the RSI dash, and I'm going to adjust the RSI dash for M15 to look for opportunities to scalp very, very short time frames, high risk reward positions. That's the best thing I think you can be doing at the moment, and obviously try and benefit from any of these big price movements that we get coming in. And we've got non-farm today, so woohoo, it's non-farm payroll day. 1:30 live room this afternoon. I will be bringing forward as a one-off. I'll put it in the Telegram group, but I'll be starting the live room at 1:15 today. Probably won't do much futures trading this afternoon. I've had a fairly decent week on futures this week, so I'm probably going to not trade futures. I might have a crack at some this morning, but we'll see. I'm planning to take the afternoon off after non-farm payroll, so I might try and trade non-farm payroll this afternoon. I don't usually, but I think at the moment that's probably the best thing to trade. I want to trade volatility, and if we can get a decent spike out of it that can put some money in the bank, that will be good. So we've got 2 minutes to the open. We'll have a look at all the RSIs, ADRs, etc. in a moment. Not much on there anyway. It's the odds and the New Zealands, which obviously have had decent Asian sessions, which have pushed the euro down again. But that euro odd, I was showing my wife this morning. I've never seen anything so catastrophic in a drop. Not sure what colour that is, but it's a complete doji. Got 2 green bars in the entire week. Utter destruction. So anyway, so we'll have a look at the DAX at the open. We've got 1 minute to go, 30 seconds. So I'm playing these longs. Got 1.4% in the bank. I'm going to take off. Should I leave them? Are we going to get that gap fill this morning? I'm going to go to break even on these 2 positions. I hope we get a spike at the open. If I get taken out, actually, you know what? I'm going to bank those. 1.5% banked. I could take a second position. Rather just keep that 1.5% in the bank, just in case we reverse this. See if we're going to break these highs. We've got a double top going in basically from the Frankfurt Open. From the DAX Open. Morning, Mark. Just going to reduce risk a little bit. Just getting ready to take along if we break that high, which we didn't. So I put a 900 pip point stop, which is just under here, with 0.5% risk. I've banked 1.5% because I'm only looking for a short gain of about 600-700 pips points. Okay, decent rejection to the downside there. It's going to stick a buy stop above the last candle. So if we get that pump, that breakout, basically, I just get gathered up and taken into the gap fill trade. So you can see that initial entry that I took on the DAX this morning. You see why I took it. So we had the big strong push down. Yeah, and I was watching this on 1 minute. We had a pause candle, and then we had a big bullish engulfing, which actually I think I took it on a slight retracement of the bullish engulfing there. And then obviously it finished as a bullish engulfing. And then my second entry was there, which was a break of that high. And then obviously exited both of those just before the open. So pulling back at the minute. Pound New Zealand, 175% of its weekly range. $225s look on the euros. God. In a week. Big move. Morning, Stevier. I'm going to look at the RSI dash this morning and get set up for M15. In fact, I've already got a setup for M15, but I'm going to tweak it to look for some scalping opportunities. Okay, so we're pulling back at the minute. Opening range high and low are in. Opening range is 57. Okay, bullish engulf. I'm going long one. And then second position, I'm going to get gathered up. I'm just going to move that up slightly, just above the opening range. Euro odd has hit its monthly range. We're on the 4th of the month. The Euro odd has already hit its monthly average range. Crazy. We'll have a look at all the pairs in a minute as well. Just see where everything is. Cool. I have M5, H1 and H4. So having an M15 would be great. A little slow at the open here at the minute. New Zealand dollar CAD Weekly range is extended. Looks like there's still a lot of movement on the Aussies and the New Zealands at the open. Yeah, big moves still, pushing hard. Morning, infamous healer. I've never heard of you. I'm guessing that's a gaming tag. Infamous healer. Or are you a doctor? Nice bullish rejection on that pullback. Looks really bullish this morning. Some market structure at the minute. It's kind of looking like we want to push and get this gap filled. So take a second position, opening range break, and then see if we can get that push. Might take a while this morning. Looking at the price action at the minute, we're not exactly flying out the blocks, are we? Inside bar at the minute on the opening range. New Zealand dollar CAD ADR already. There's the opening range break. Pound odd ADR. Australasians are off the charts at the minute. Let's modify my TP up to there. Pound New Zealand. So TP's just moved up. Just going to trail my stops up a little bit, just under that low. Come on. Let me just pop up there and get this done so we can get on with the analysis today. No? Alright, fine. It's moving my stops to break even on this one. We kind of want this to move a bit quicker than this. Want to get this gap fill done fast. We're getting a lot of rejection showing at the minute, so I don't really want to get caught the wrong side of a failed breakout. So I just got a load of aggregate being delivered. Just looking out my window. So I'll be with you in a sec. Fucking great tipper trucks just turned up. My builders aren't here, so hopefully he's all right on his own. Richard, yeah, he's all live. I'm going to cut this here, I think. 0.3. Don't like the look of this. We're just stalling out at the highs, basically. So I'm going to cut that there. Right. So this morning, what I'm basically planning to do this morning is... obviously, because I'm not position trading at the moment, I'm concentrating on my futures and just trying to scalp on lower time frames just to get sort of $500 or so a day in the bank, basically. So I was looking at opportunities for getting other entries at the moment, just basically using the price action toolkit. The problem at the moment with market reversal alerts is by the time you get especially with things like the Euro New Zealand, by the time you get a market reversal alert on anything that is really pushing hard, that move is quite often, by the time you get the alert, over, because we are in such strong trends on a lot of this stuff at the minute. So what I've decided to do, sorry, just keeping my eye on this tipper truck, is look at options to get in on RSI extensions, but picking pairs that we know are not going to squeeze as hard. So the main things we need to be looking for are, I think at the moment, the sort of major pairs. Euro basically is off the table, we know, because the euro is just absolutely collapsing at the moment. The pound is really struggling as well. It's on a massive downtrend at the moment, and I still can't see any reason why the pound is quite so weak at the moment. So the pairs I think we need to concentrate on are the Swissy, the CAD. I was going to say the Aussies and the New Zealands, but at the moment they seem to be on an absolute crazy run at the moment. So also the US dollar. So Swiss franc is a kind of a safe haven where we get money piled into it and then pulled out of it very, very quickly. So the Swiss franc tends to have decent movement, decent range of movement, and it will go into squeezes, but then when they take the foot off the gas, the other currency you're trading against, the Swiss franc, takes control and we get those nice movements. So with Swiss franc pairs, as you can see, you get that nice undulation happening regardless of what it's crossed with. So the pound is incredibly weak at the moment, but you can see obviously the pound has had moments where it's pushed very nicely against the Swiss. Compare that to things like the Australian dollar. It doesn't work as well. So the Swiss franc is something that I think at the moment is good for very small time frame trading. The Canadian dollar is linked to oil a lot of the time. and the movement we get on that tends to be based on that, and it tends to sleep a lot of the time as well. So there's not an awful lot of money comes into the CAD. So again, you get lots of decent movement on the Canadian dollar up and down. So again, that one is probably a good one to look at for scalping opportunities as well. And then obviously the US dollar we know is very, very unpredictable and undulating at the minute. We've got lots of movement up and down on an intraday basis on the US dollar, which we've had for some time. So regardless of which way you trade the US dollar, you're finding it's getting decent up-down movement. So we're trying to avoid anything that is going into a strong trend at the moment. So those seem to be the best pairs to work on. But it needs a little bit more analysis, really. But I mean, I think those are kind of the safest pairs to trade on lower time frames. So the plan basically is to look at those pairs and set up a new dash for them. Let's stick it on gold. Let's do that one. And what I'm going to use is 15-minute. So these are all 21s. And I think what I'm going to do is look, is look at RSIs above 70 basically. So I'm just going to change that one also to 70, 30. So basically what we've got is 15-minute RSIs going to be starting at 70, 30 and moving up from there. Okay. So obviously these first two columns are going to display the same. So that will be kind of initial alert to get in. And from a pairs basis, I'm going to get rid of all the euros because I'm not interested in trading the euro at the moment. The Aussies and the New Zealand dollars are off the scale as well at the minute, so I'm going to get rid of those. Pound is okay. I still think we're going to get some decent movement on the pound and the vast majority of the pound pairs. So I'm just going to use those to start off with. And I want to alert on RSI 2. Again, the level of alert is really up to you, but I'm going to just go with initially with a 70 and just see what happens. So those are my focus kind of pairs to trade. So as we can see at the moment, we've got the pound odd and the pound New Zealand. So I actually want to take those out because they are moving massively quickly, aren't they? The Aussies and the New Zealands. So let's get rid of those. Whoops. Odd and New Zealand. So we're left with the CAD, the Swiss, the CAD, the yen, Swiss yen, pound CAD, pound Swiss, pound yen, pound US, US CAD, US Swiss, US yen. Okay. So those I think are the safest things to be trading at the moment on M15. So what I'm looking for, I'll just switch over to 15-minute so I know which one it is. Looking for these basically to get extended. So the idea being, let's just take CAD Swiss to start with. On M15 is we're looking for extensions on RSI. So we're going to get alerted when we hit 70, right? So that's there basically. So we're going to get an alert as soon as we hit the 70 level, which is that candle there. And what we're going to do is drop down to M1 when M15 is extended, and we're going to look for scalp moves. So that would have been one there. You got extended again here. So you'd be looking for scalp moves on there. That area there, scalps there, short, and obviously these are going to be stop loss based, then you would have had one, potentially you might have had one there, dubious as to whether that would have actually alerted, but you would have scalped that. And then here, there, no, actually this is end of day, I wouldn't be scalping at that time of day. Nothing so far today. Yeah, so that's the idea. So it's going to be very, very, very selective entries. So let me just get rid of those for a minute and we'll line those up. Potentially there, not sure about that one. I'll have a look. Wouldn't have taken that. That's in Asia, wouldn't have taken that. So this one here and this one here I wouldn't have taken. It's too late in the day for me, New York. So those are the opportunities you would have had. So when we get an RSI alert, drop down to M1. And we're looking for opportunities to scalp. Okay. So from a price action perspective, this is where we got extended. So we would have been entering on bearish. Obviously, this line is not exact. It would have been somewhere around here. So we're looking for shorts. So we're looking to get in, stop there, and 1.5 to 2 risk reward on that move. And that's literally all we're looking for. So once, twice, maybe 3 times a day, you may get an alert where you can drop down to M1 and scalp 1.5 to 1 or 2 to 1 risk reward. So got extended there. Probably would have taken that one and got stopped out. Would have taken that one. So that 50. Got it stopped out on that one. If you'd have taken a bearish there, move there, you'd have got that one there. So there you would have got in somewhere. There's the bearish engulfing there. Stop above the high. 1.5, 2 to risk reward there. But you see, look, we're literally looking to get in and we're out within 2 to 3 minutes. These are super fast, super quick moves looking to get in. And I think this is the best opportunities at the minute. Is just waiting for those extensions. There is an argument for just playing RSI extensions on the 1 minute time frame as well. So just waiting for us to get extended here and taking every price action short. I mean, if you go with a higher risk reward, you're going to get a better entry, obviously, a better, stronger moves, and if you can hold them. But you're going to get scared out on things like this. Yeah, if you saw that long wick, yeah, that's a long wick. So you'd have got a long wick alert on that there. So you would have got in, or you'd have taken that under there. If you'd have got in straight away on that, you'd have been scared out by that move probably, and you'd have exited with a tiny little reward. But if you'd have held it, it would have gone down. So it's a bit of obviously anything to do with scalping is very personal as to when you get in and out and what scares you out of the market. But that's kind of what I'm planning to do, is just monitor M15 at the moment and look for these very, very quick trades. So that's where we got extended. So we're waiting for a bearish signal. So there's your bearish engulfing. Obviously that one was a beautiful, I mean, you wouldn't have taken that. What you would have taken is 1.5 to 2. You'd be out here or you'd be out there. You may not. I mean, it's up to you. Obviously the EA has an option in there to get you out on reversal candles. So if you set that to true, the EA will automatically escape you when you get reversal. So in the case of this one here, the EA would have got you out. So if you'd have entered that bearish engulfing there, stop above the high, the EA would have exited you on that candle there. So you'd have ridden that whole thing automatically. So, I think at the minute with the current market conditions, the other option is obviously you go H1M5, which is our normal sort of time frames. So H1, you could do the same thing. So if you look at the H1 RSI extensions, you got one there. Got one there where it's already lit up. And we had one down there somewhere. I mean, there's not a lot. You see, this is the thing. These are going to be very selective entries. You're not going to get many of them, but when you get them, you know, it's a case of trying to extract 1 or 2% a day out of this market. I've just done 1.7% this morning. I'm done pretty much. I'm happy with 1.7% in the bank. Try and get these trades in and get 2 or 3 of these trades done, and that's it. Walk away, because at the moment it's the only way you can kind of make money is by setting yourself a target, hitting it, and stopping. Like I did yesterday in the futures, banked $400. That was it. I didn't look at the charts again for the rest of the day. I'm done. If you can do that in 1 or 2 trades, I think that's really the way forward at the minute. So that trade there, for example, on H1, that you would have hit there 70. What did that hit? 69.58. So you wouldn't really got alerted on that. But you would have done on that one over there. Let's look at this one. So you got extended there. So we dropped down to M5 there. Where are you? There. Okay, so your first price action entry was there. You got equal high signal there and a bearish engulfing signal. So you've entered there, got stopped out. Second entry was there, bearish engulfing. Difficult to know whether you would have got that one. Would have still been extended up here. So you would have maybe got a little bit out of that one. But again, you know, it's a discretionary way of trading with scalping. So it's whether or not you would have taken those trades and whether or not you would have held them, whether or not you would have got out on bullish price action against you, what would have happened. So that's the plan. Anyway, I'm going to be looking at those today, but I'm cutting my pairs back down to just those. So I'm only interested in anything that's getting extended on non-squeezing pairs at the moment. If you want to use all pairs, obviously you can do, but you're going to find you're going to get more things extended on M15. Oops, wrong one. Than the other pairs, basically. So it's a little bit more dangerous. But equally, these ones like the pound odd, where we are squeezing hard. Yeah, I mean here you got extended there. Down here, you would have had an H1 price action reversal, but you would have got that. So as long as you're getting in and getting that break even done quickly, you'll probably be okay. But that's really all you can do. So here, you got extended there. You didn't have any opportunity to go long there or there. That's your long signal there on M1. You would have taken that out of the market. Yeah, so you have got opportunities even on these ones which are squeezing massively hard, but they're going to be way tighter and much less chance of getting that decent bounce back up to a resistance or a support level. So I'm going to monitor these today, and I'm going to see if I can get any opportunities out of these. Obviously, there's nothing lit up at the moment. If it doesn't signal any trades, I'm not getting into anything, basically. So I'm just happy to monitor those. Can you put the modified set file into Telegram? Yeah. I'm going to call it war set. Telegram. Okay, that's in the Telegram group. Yeah, so that's the plan on that this morning. So I'm going to leave that running. It's set up to alert me on column 2. And column 2 basically is set up the same as column 1, which is 70-30. So, and again, if you want to be super safe, get alerts on 75-25 or 80-20. Yeah, so here, there's your 25 level. So you would not have got an alert until there. You obviously got that move. Easy. 75 was there. So instead of getting the alert here, you get the alert here. Yeah. So again, but go and do your due diligence on these. Go and have a look at the RSI extensions. I'd much rather have at the moment 1 or 2 super high quality, super high probability entries and get in with 1.5% risk with a 1.5 risk reward ratio and just scalp. Literally get 1% out the market. If you can get 1% out the market at the moment, if this war carries on for the next 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 6 months, whatever it's going to carry on for, we still need a way to make money. So I think that's probably the best action to take at the moment. And obviously then you can use the price action toolkit, candlestick patterns. And again, I'm releasing an update for this hopefully this morning. So taking price action candlestick patterns obviously in the opposite direction. So at the moment you can only filter by moving averages. So here. So what I'm doing this morning is I'm adding 2 new inputs so that you can have moving averages set to false, and you're going to have a drop down for take longs for long signals. Actually, it's going to be down here for long signals and short signals. For auto trading, so it will only take trades long or short. So if we want to do mean reversion, obviously when we're pushing down we only want to take bullish trades, so it will auto get you in on a bullish candlestick patterns. And obviously if you're trading it manually, it doesn't matter, does it? You just leave it set to draw all candlestick patterns and then you'll get in manually yourself. But so I'm going to try and get an update out for that this morning. I've got to test it to make sure it works, and there's a couple of other enhancements I'm putting in there as well. So yeah, so that's the plan. Right, so let's have a look at the market where we are at the minute. So ADRs, there's loads lit up, as I say at the moment. ADR, you've got to just take it with a pinch of salt at the minute. Stuff's hitting ADR, and yeah. Jason, you want to have a look at morning Franco? Jason wants to look at pound US dollar and pound Swiss. So pound US, obviously we're expecting US dollar strength to continue at the moment. Non-farm obviously later on today. So pound is in a problem at the minute. We've got a very, very weak pound, and we've got a US dollar which is slowly strengthening up. So the Dixie is pushing. Yesterday we got that break that we were looking for of the highs. We held, pulled back. We're back up there now this morning and pushing higher. So US dollar is expected to push higher. So therefore you're looking for shorts on the pound US dollar, basically. So pullbacks. If you're using the market reverse alert indicator, obviously just taking shorts. Pound Swiss, you can take both directions really on the pound Swiss normally. At the moment though, with the weakness we've got in the pound, obviously, I'd be short bias on it. So same thing, taking shorts on whatever time frame you're trading, looking for short opportunities basically. Look for pullbacks into propulsion moves. So whenever we get a propulsion move, look for rejections out of the propulsion areas. And obviously target propulsion gaps as well. Same as usual really, except at the minute pound bias is short, and you've got to kind of keep it low time frame and tight and get in and out. And you saw me this morning just taking 1.7% out of the market, just not risking it, just because it's reversing so fast at the minute, and we've got so much whipsawing going on. There's lots of wicks. It's just a very, very, very hard market to trade. You've got to be in and out quick at the minute. It's horrible. Not a pleasant way to trade. So yeah, ADRs have hit. As I said, we've got a monthly range hit already on the Euro odd. So the Euro odd monthly range is 490 in a month. So when was the month? I mean, we're off the charts, aren't we? I mean, literally, monthly range already, 125% ADR by the time the market opens. Just absolutely crazy. New Zealand dollar CAD moving nicely tonight along. Yeah, so all the New Zealands and the Aussies are on an absolute mission. Obviously, commodities-based countries, so doing well at the moment. As I said yesterday, these kind of look like the Aussies and the CADs look like they're turning into the safe havens at the minute. You're better off having your money over there. So those two currencies are appreciating at a rate of knots at the moment. With what's going on with the commodities, obviously we're going to be looking elsewhere for minerals and natural resources. They are incredibly rich natural resource countries. So the speculators are obviously looking for them to start supplying more resources by sea, I'd imagine, and hence price movements upwards. So, which is why I've taken those off that dash, the Aussies and the New Zealands, because there's a good chance that these are going to go into a squeeze. So I don't want to be trying to mean revert something that is moving at that speed. I mean, you will be able to. Yeah, I mean, look, there's two examples yesterday, absolutely spot on. Yeah, we got extended. That was your mean reversion. So your M15, you're waiting for it to get to here. M1, you're entering, you're taking that short. M15, you're waiting to get to there. M1, you're taking that short. You had one there as well. So yeah, there are opportunities. There you go, you got one there. So maybe the Aussies are good. Even though they're pushing, we've got market structure. I go and look at these. I mean, you make your own choices on what you want to trade, but market structure is absolute textbook on this, isn't it, at the moment? So maybe we should be looking at the Aussies. I'll spend a bit of time looking at the Aussie and the New Zealands. What I just don't want to see any embedded RSIs, basically, which we're not really getting, are we? So yeah, these are actually moving quite nice. But see how quick you've got to be out on these things. Literally, 2 15-minute candle. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to say. When you're entering, yeah, on M1, if you're going to use M1 strategy, literally give yourself 30 candles. Yeah. If you get to 30 candles and you're still in that trade, get out. Because if you look at M15 on some of these moves, coming out of these extensions, you get your entry is going to be somewhere up there, isn't it? You got a couple of down candles. That one was a longer one, and that one was a longer. That one didn't get extended, but that one was a longer one. But what I was looking at when I was looking at this yesterday was looking at 2 15-minute candles, so 30 minutes of price action, down, reversal, back. A couple of down candles, reversal, back. So when you get into your positions, look at 30 candles on the minute chart. By the time you got to 30 candles, 2 M15 candles, if it's gone your way for 30 minutes, probably scratch it, because likelihood is you're going to pull out. But you'll see that because on M1, what you will see is RSI getting to extended levels. So that'll be a kind of a signal. If you've got in 90% of the time, obviously your RSI on the minute is going to be extended because it's extended on M15. So when you get extended on M1 in the opposite direction, i.e. the direction you're trading at, that's when you would look to get your exits. So yeah, So I went off on a bit of a tangent there. Just forgot that bit. I was thinking about that last night. Right, so RSIs, not going to cover those in any detail. There's nothing up at the moment on there. Should we... I don't know if to stick those on. Let's just have a quick look at them. Actually, I might as well just leave all those set to true. So let's just get rid of those euros. I'm just going to quickly look at the Aussie pairs. And the New Zealand's. New Zealand's, US dollar, Swiss, pound New Zealand, pound US dollar. Okay. So Aussie CAD and New Zealand CAD at the moment, massive extensions. So, yeah, so this is what I don't want to see. That's what I'm trying to avoid, embedded RSIs. This is the reason I think these Aussies and New Zealands are a little bit more dangerous to trade, because you're going to get embedded RSIs, I think, on these strong moves. If you'd have got, there is where we got extended on M1, on M15. So, oops, your entry short opportunity is starting back. In fact, it's starting back here. Depending on whether you use 75 or 20, maybe we could use 75s on these. Only use the 75s on the Australasian pairs. Maybe that's the option. Don't use 70-30, use 75 on the Aussies and the New Zealands. So that's where you would look to start looking for your M1 opportunities. First price action short you had was there. That would have been a stop out. Bearish engulfing there. That would have been a win. But then you're done. So you've had a 1 loss and you've had a 1.5 R. So you're 0.5 R up. Whether you took any more after that trade, don't know. I mean, the idea is I would probably just want to get in 1, maybe 2. I don't want to be continuously trying to short it while it's up there. So where are we at the moment? We got extended again on M15, didn't we? So yeah, I mean, this is the thing. You're embedded from here, look. This is the danger of these Aussies. But you came back out of the RSI extension. You hit 75 again there. So you got a long wick signal there. That would have been about a 1-to-1, maybe. You got a long wick signal there and a bearish engulfing there. Probably stopped out. So they wouldn't have been good. Don't know. Jury's out on the Aussies. I'll keep them on and monitor them, I think. Keep an eye on them. But you can see, obviously, as soon as you add those Aussies and New Zealands into the mix, you lit up like a Christmas tree. That's not the idea. I want to get in on really, really, really good, solid opportunities for mean reversion scalps. And these are squeezing, aren't they? So I'm not convinced about them personally. But I'll monitor them. So looking at the RSI dashes, if you want to trade the hourlies, we're nearly there on the hourly as well. Look. Obviously, Aussie dollar CAD, massive extension. So again, if you want to trade M5 But again, as I say, at the moment, rather than using reversal alerts, I would use price action. Use price action patterns rather than reverse alerts, because by the time the reverse alerts happened, you've probably missed the opportunity. So Aussie dollar, massive extension. We're up to 125 ADR, dropping down to M5, looking for price action. You're not getting any price action at the moment. You've had a doji there. In fact, you wouldn't have got into that, would you? Yeah. Well, yes, you would. Yeah. So you would have broken the low just. And it's pushing up. So again, there's just no this, and this is the beauty of using price action. There's no opportunities to get in at all. It's just when you do get in though, you're going to get that tiny pullback, and that's literally all you're looking for. Tiny little move, bag of percent. So yeah, Aussie CAD, massive extensions on that one still. Euros we've covered, they're all shot to bits. Pound odd, same thing based on the Australian movement at the minute. Pound New Zealand, same thing, New Zealand CAD. So they're all the same, aren't they? It's the same stuff as we're looking at the moment. The Australasian pairs are squeezing, the Euros and the pounds dropping hard. So short moves. Indices. Glad I got out of that. Indices, basically, I think are your way forward at the minute. Price action on the indices. Got a nice double bottom going in there at the minute. It's worth a shot. Buy stop above that high. Stop under the low. See if we can get some movement back up to the highs. That's actually a bear. Obviously, we're getting bearish signals here because I've got it set to signal on moving average. But so there's an IRB short entry there. So if you're going to assume that this trend is going to continue, stop under the low there. I'm literally just playing double bottom bounce on this though, if it works. Anybody got any other pairs they want to look at all? Kind of covered. I mean, the trouble is at the moment, there's not a lot to look at. You don't want to be touching the euros and the pounds at the minute, really, because they're absolutely collapsing. US dollar, we're waiting for long opportunities. There aren't any as such at the minute, so buy all the pullbacks on the US dollars. Aussie, New Zealand's a little bit off the table at the moment, unless you can find a pullback to long. There you go. We're not really left with a lot, are we? So the euros, someone was saying about the euro odd this morning in the Telegram group. At some point, this is going to pop. We're going to get this movement stopping, and we are going to get a very decent pullback on it. You just cannot time this thing. There's no way of figuring out how to time the pullback on it. So you can't chase it short. I mean, if you do chase it short, what you're looking for is an accumulation rather than a pullback at the minute. So when we get into an accumulation, pending below the low, accumulation, pending below the low, accumulation, pending below the low. That's literally all you play on the euros. But you know, sod's law, that the next accumulation you get is going to stop, hunt and run. But that's the odds, isn't it? Was the entry based on 1% risk? This one I've just taken? Well, I haven't taken an entry yet, but I've got a pending, but it's 0.5%. Sorry, I just got my builders have just turned up. Yeah, it's 0.5%, that one. So if you'd have played the opening range breakouts this morning, your opening range breakout long stopped out. Your opening range breakout short worked. So you'd have had a reward on the opening range breakout short. You'd have stopped out on the opening range breakout long. Euro yen. So the yen pairs obviously are our typical safe haven, which at the moment, if you quickly look at all the yen pairs, Aussie yen is beating the yen at the moment. CAD is beating the yen. Swissy is beating the yen. Euro obviously isn't. And the pound's kind of struggling with it. So it doesn't seem like there's an awful lot of strength coming into the yen at the moment, which in times of crisis, we tend to see massive buying of the yen. At the moment, we're not. So the typical safe havens, and there was an article about this when Putin first decided to go in, about how the market has abandoned the normal safe havens at the moment. So Euro yen is probably one of the riskier pairs to look at trading at the moment, because obviously the euro is so downtrodden with what's going on at the moment. If we do see buying of the yen, this is obviously only going to get worse, this pair. So like I've been saying for months on the euro, buy the pop, sell the pops, sell all the pullbacks on the euro. So whenever you get any pullbacks, look for short opportunities on them. That's really all you can do with those at the minute. But the pullbacks don't seem to be particularly good. So look at market structure. I think, to be honest, at the minute, the fib is probably your friend, your best friend at the moment. If you look at the fibs, wrong way around. Whenever you get a move and you can see a bottom formed in that move, look at the fibs and look at the retracements. Yeah, we know that in any market, whether it be a time of crisis like this or whether we're in a normal moving market structure, 61.8, 50 and 38 are pullbacks, shallow, medium and deep pullback levels. Use them. When you're looking for pullbacks on things like this, use those pullbacks. Yeah, there's 50% retracement there. That's what you're going to be looking for. So when you see a move starting, like the one we've got here at the moment, that ended there. Where you take that from, doesn't make a massive amount of difference. If you take it from there, yeah, you got the 61 and the 38 there. If you take it from there, not a lot of difference, is it? If you even took it from there, this lower line, it's a rough measurement. It's never going to be exact. It's not going to hit to the line. It's not going to come up to the 61.8 and bounce off of it perfectly. Look for those pullbacks. So this move at the moment, if you see the euro yen pulling back up into this zone today, there's your short. Look for price action entries there, or reversal alerts. On a lower time frame, you can always go into aggressive mode as well. Don't forget in here. So you can set this to aggressive, and you'll basically get more alerts. So it will alert faster on smaller price movements. So there, you've got an option of doing that as well. Adapt. That's what we have to do at the moment. I was able to get a quick scalp on the pound CAD buys on the 5 minutes. Just now. Yeah, I mean, I would be waiting. I mean, obviously there's lots of different ways to scalp, but I would wait for some decent movement before we start looking for entries at the minute. Nice M1 entry there, reversal, but they don't hold at the moment. It's tricky. Richard, just want to ask if you have any plans about adding trading sessions indicator in market reversals. No, not at the moment. You obviously it's got a time frame, time filter in it already. So you can filter your trades by time. So you can tell it to trade only between certain hours. So it has got a sessions filter. You just need to set up the sessions. So if you only want it to trade between the Frankfurt Open and 2 hours before the New York close, you just set those times in the EA. Oh, can't put it on there because I've got an EA running. So you've got time of day filters. So you can get it to trade just between start and end times. So that is basically sessions filters. What's your sessions you want to use? You've only got one, obviously, but it's already got that in there. So there's no point in adding just trade on a session, I don't think. Work at the office while checking status of the session. Not quite sure what you mean by that. The EA obviously trades for you, so it would just take the trades. But if you're using it as an alert, so obviously that will do the same thing. It will only alert you when you get signals within those time periods. This isn't working, this trade. I'm going to scrap this. This double bottom. Let's see what price action comes in here. Yeah, there we go. We've broken it. So the IRBs, these are really good candlestick patterns. These are. I really like these. Wish I'd have found these. Every now and again you come across something you think, I wish I'd have found that years ago. That's one of those for me at the minute. IRB. I haven't had a chance to look at them in any detail. But yeah, really good. So IRB entries, you would have had pendings under there. Oh, and that's the other thing I'm adding into the price action toolkit today, is ability to auto trade with stops above the highs and lows. So at the moment, the auto trading uses your TP and stop loss, or you can use ADR. So I've added in the ability to trade on candle high and low as well. So if you're entering a pending order under there, you can say I want my stop to be at the high of the candle, and that will also now use risk reward. So you can say put my TP 150% of my stop, and that'll be a 1.5 risk reward. He's slacking at work like me, yeah. Doesn't everybody? Slacking at work is what work's all about. That's what they invented the what was that key called? That shortcut. There was a shortcut on your keyboard, the boss key, wasn't it? The boss key. So you had a shortcut set up on your keyboard. So if the boss walked past, you could hit the boss key and it would flick over to Excel or whatever, and it would automatically set your screen to whatever you were meant to be doing instead of watching Facebook. Boss key. Yeah, so there you go. Good IRB entries there, working out nicely. So 1.5 risk reward on that would have been 52. So you'd be looking at, 75 roughly. $55, something like 75, 80, somewhere around there. So your TP would be down there. Yeah, so that's coming out in the new update as well. But I'll put a post out about that when I do it. I've got to test it this morning. That's my job this morning, is testing. I don't think I'm going to trade my futures account this morning. I'm going to have a crack at trading the... I don't normally do this, but I'm going to have a crack at trading non-farm today. See if I can scalp NFP, which I don't usually do because it's usually dangerous, but hey, needs must at the minute. Right, so that's all I've got for you this morning. So we've got crammed quite a lot in there, but I don't like these Aussies and New Zealands. I'm taking them off. I really don't think I want to be trading those at the moment. I want to be super safe. So I'm going to concentrate on those, on the war set. So US dollar CAD is getting close to potential opportunity. Oh, there you go. Pound US dollar. So we've got pound US dollar opportunity. There's our first opportunity. So we just got extended on M15. So looking for bullish price action. Kind of missed that. When did that get extended? Yeah, so you missed the opportunity on that. That's the problem, actually, with the RSI dash, is it obviously alerts you on candle close. So there's a possibility you may have missed the move. So when you get the alerts, you ideally want to see closes fairly close to the lows, because obviously we're looking now for... we're basically looking to trade a green bar, if that's the way you need to look at it. Right now, we're looking to trade a green bar. We're looking to trade literally one bar backwards and get in and out as fast as we possibly can on it. So looking for bullish patterns, but we had a bullish engulfing there. Just kind of accumulating at the minute, isn't it? But anyway, I'm not going to sit here and trade all this live because I'll be here all day. Right, so I'll be back on this afternoon for non-farm payroll. So 1:30. So I'm going to do 1:15 this afternoon. We'll go on. So I'll be on for non-farm. So just be aware of that. There's no other news today. It's flat news day apart from non-farm. Obviously, we'll say flat news day. That is today news. So this morning we could well see some accumulations. Typically, what we'll see today is obviously unknown. But normally we would see an accumulation ahead of non-farm while they're building up positions. So we've had a decent push on the US dollar. So for non-farm this afternoon, I'd be more biased short than long. Just for initial move, but obviously probably counter. There's nowhere really for them to do a liquidity run at the moment during non-farm, unless we pull all the way back down here today. Then we could well see a big whipsaw. That is where the vast majority of the liquidity will be sitting at the moment, under those equal lows. So it's only 125 ADR. You can easily do that in non-farm. So if we get a pullback down here today, we could just see a whipsaw move. So need to see it unfold basically, and see if we can trade that this afternoon. I'll be looking to trade that probably on my futures because the indices will move inverse. So that's the plan for this afternoon. Back at 1:15. If you got anything you need, come in the Telegram group. I will be in there all day as usual. I'll be working on the updates for the price action toolkit this morning. Hopefully I'll be able to get that tested and rolled out. I'm going to keep my eye on these. This is a nice bullish engulfing. Just missed that. Look. So 2 pips stop. We've had one to one already. Euro US dollar just did a big bump up. Yeah, US dollar just tanked. You see, I just noticed that when we were looking at it. US dollar's just tanking. Look. I say tanking. We're just having a down candle. That's all. So obviously we're going to get the inverse on the Euro US dollar. Curious if gold on the 4 hour can get back to those highs. We haven't looked at gold this morning, have we? Yeah, I mean, I think it will. I can't see it. It's not bearish, put it that way. I think we're going to continue. I think you're just going to see a continual grind up. It's very difficult to trade the pullbacks on it. It's not very orderly, and it's like I said, everything at the minute it's just very wicky. It's very, very, very wicky and whipsawy. Everything is. It's horrible. It's just a horrible market at the moment. This is why I'm looking like super fast in and out, done type trading, because you're just getting whipsawed. So much harder to do, but it's kind of a necessity at the minute. But yeah, I'll be looking for gold long and breaking those highs at some point. I reckon we'll probably get a reaction off of it to start with. But again, you know, at the moment, the market it's all to do with what's going on in Ukraine. Oil's pulled back quite dramatically from almost 120 a barrel. But the JP Morgan and a lot of the big funds out there are calling for 120 a barrel. And they're playing for 120 a barrel. So they're still long. The market's still long to 120, which is 175 ADR today. I don't think we'll hit that today. But certainly next week, I think we'll probably see oil get back up there. It's whether or not it will pull back. You just don't know, do you? So it's the same as the indices at the minute. You just don't know. Don't know which way anything's going at the moment. So you just have to get in and out fast with no directional bias. Just rely on price action. What's price action telling you? Price action's telling me short US dollar. Try and get a candle out of it and get out. Assume you're going to get the follow through on moves that you see. Right. So that's it for this morning. Back at 1:15, and we will have a look at where we are with everything. And as I say, I'm going to do a bit of futures this afternoon for non-farm. See if I can get my target hitting non-farm, and then that'll be me done for the afternoon. So probably won't have an afternoon session at the New York Open, but we'll see what happens with non-farm. And see if we get some decent price action to trade off the back of that. So come in the Telegram group if you're not already in there. I'll be in there this morning. I'll be coding away, but if you've got any questions, I will be there. And back at 1:15 this afternoon, I'll put out a notice in the Telegram group just to let people know. And obviously subscribe and hit the notification bell, and then you'll get a notification when I come online and go live anyway, which is every morning 7:50 and 2 p.m. usually, apart from today because it's non-farm. All right, so have a good morning, everybody. Trade safe, and I will be back at 1:15.